Roll call. Trustee Jacobson.
Present.
Trustee Chavez.
Here.
Trustee Griffin.
Present.
Trustee Andrade Zuniga. And I am present as well. Tonight we have a team from Hannah Interpreting as our Spanish interpreters. For those who like to attend the meeting virtually in Spanish, that option is available. Hannah Interpreting, would you mind communicating that for us this evening? Gracias.
Absolutely. Good afternoon and welcome to this session. In order to provide language access, this meeting will have simultaneous bidirectional interpretation in Spanish and American Sign Language. If you're bilingual, you don't have to click anything. But if you're not bilingual and you're using your laptop, in a few seconds, you'll see an icon shaped like a globe at the bottom of your screen. Click on Language Interpretation and then select English. If you're using your phone or an iPad, then locate the three-dot menu in one of the corners of your device. Click on Language Interpretation and then select English. When you speak, do so at a moderate pace because the interpreters are going to be simultaneously interpreting everything you say. A efecto de proporcionar acceso lingüístico, esta reunión contará con interpretación simultánea al español y lenguaje de señas americano. Si usted es bilingüe, no tiene que presionar nada, pero si usted no es bilingüe y está en su computadora, en unos segundos verá un icono en forma de globo en la parte inferior de su pantalla. Haga clic en Interpretación de idiomas y después seleccione Español o Spanish. Si está en su iPad o su teléfono, en unos segundos busca el menú de 3 puntos o que dice More en una de las esquinas de su pantalla. Haga clic en Interpretación y después seleccione Español o Spanish. Cuando hable, hágalo en español. El intérprete estará simultáneamente interpretando todo lo que usted diga. Gracias. Thank you. And if the host may please assign us, we're ready to begin. Thank you.
Okay, we will. Gracias. And the interpretation sign is up, ready to click. Excellent. Okay, if you wish to view closed captions of this meeting, please view the meeting on the San Mateo Union High School Board Meeting YouTube channel. The link to the YouTube channel can be found on our website. You may view the captions in English as we live stream our meeting tonight, and you may view the captions in a variety of other languages if you choose to watch after the meeting has ended. Viewers may request additional accommodations by calling 650-558-2201. For our deaf and hard of hearing community, we have a team from Hannah Interpreting Services, and they will be interpreting our meeting this evening. We'd like to ask everyone to speak at a clear and reasonable pace for our interpreters. Thank you. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Superintendent Booker, you up for it?
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Reporting of actions taken in closed session. In closed session, the board, upon motion of Trustee Jacobson and seconded by Trustee Andrade Zuniga, moved to approve the 3 special education settlements with a vote of 5-0. In closed session, the board denied a liability claim with a vote of 5-0. Okay, moving on. Public comments. If you are joining us in person and wish to make a comment about an agenda item during public comment section at the beginning of the agenda, please fill out a request to address the board form and submit it to the secretary. This form, looks like this, should be given to the secretary before the agenda item begins. If you are joining us virtually, please use the raised hand feature on Zoom to be recognized. When invited to do so by the board president for each item on which you will wish to comment, you will be admitted to speak as a panelist during the public comment time. The board president will call on you. Please note that comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public comment depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. So we do have at this time one request. And do we have any online?
No, we do not.
Okay, so I'm going to call on Heidi Schell. Come on up. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Superintendent Booker and board members. My name is Heidi Schell. I am the parent volunteer coordinator for the Aragon Girls water polo teams. Our daughter's senior year water polo season is in jeopardy due to the Aragon pool not being certified for use on time. The season is short with only about 8 weeks left, and their first league game is on September 5th, less than 2 weeks away. This impacts dozens of student athletes across varsity and JV, both girls and boys teams. Everyone has been patient for the last 2 weeks, skipping pool workouts and begging for limited access to other schools' pools, but the patience has ended. This has been extraordinarily frustrating for the coaches, athletic staff, and players, particularly for those seniors who aspire to play in college and for whom this is a critical final season for recruiting. You and your team are accountable. The student athletes who are impacted by your lack of results deserve urgent and effective action from you. We urge you to make fixing the Aragon pool a priority and request clear communication from you about the date when the pool will open, what steps will be taken between now and then, and by whom. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other comments, we are going to move to the next item. Again, just a reminder, this is not an agenda item, so we're not allowed to speak about it. Okay. All right. Moving on to governing board comments. Anyone have anything to say? Seeing none, we're going to move on. Okay. Hey, I'll give it a shot. Okay, Leah, go ahead.
I first wanted to do a land acknowledgement that was created by the students at Capuchino High School last year. It says, the Capuchino High School community acknowledges that our campus lies on the ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone. The Ramaytush are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula, whose land was stolen from them and whose native language was lost because of Spanish colonization. As settlers on stolen land of the peninsula, we should be alongside the Ramaytush, remembering and honoring their ancestors and relatives. We at Capuchino thank the first people, the Ramaytush Ohlone, for taking care of the land we use now for education and activities. Our responsibility of caring for the earth is unique and personal to each of us, but should be rooted in allyship with the Ramaytush Ohlone so we can work together to protect and preserve the land for future generations. Welcome back to a new school year. I'm so excited, and I'm really excited for today's meeting because I love to hear from our campuses and our principals. So thank you for being here. I also wanted to acknowledge, I didn't get it acknowledged at the last meeting, our transportation department. When we had the administrative professional development day and the Giants game, they were excellent. And we were able to, it's not a surprise that I use a power chair to get around. And we were able to ride on one of the buses, and that was really cool. Because I could get the experience that the students do. And they were just on it. Everything was seamless, and it was really great. I also wanted to lift up our administrative assistants, Charlene and Laylee. They were excellent recently in helping with some arrangements for a conference. And I know that there's a lot that goes into helping me out with that. So they're just excellent with every board meeting, with all of the minutes that they're catching up on. Just excellent. We have great staff. I saw the back to school video. Whoever hasn't seen it, please watch it. We have a great superintendent that gave a really nice message. So please go ahead and look that up. There's just a few other announcements I wanted to make. This San Mateo County has a funding opportunity called Measure K that people voted on not that long ago. And they have a listening session right now throughout the county for community members to give input on what they want those Measure K dollars to be. I believe tonight there was one here in San Mateo from 6 to 7, but there's one left. I believe it's tomorrow in Daly City. So if people can make it to that, it's from 6 to 7, and you can get it on the county's website for Measure K. It's really important that people give their input. A group of us, including our superintendent, other board members from other districts, and community members, we're creating a Latinx Heritage Month speaker series. And the first speaker will be speaking, on September 15th at the Performing Arts Center. at 5:30. It's the Senora Sylvia Mendez, and she's going to be talking about some segregation issues that had been done a while ago. And she was part of those school systems when she was a kid. So it's going to be really interesting to hear her speak. So it's free to the public. There is a form that you can fill out if you go to, I believe it's going to be posted on the website. If people are interested in joining, there's going to be food and it'll be really interesting. And then next month is Suicide Prevention Month. And so there's a lot of different events that are happening throughout the month. And I wanted to mention it early because they will be starting September 1st. So that's going to be important. And I think that's one more thing. Saturday, the 26th is Women's Equality Day. So for all women that identify as anybody that identifies as a woman, it's going to be a good day. There's going to be a lot of different events throughout the county. I know that the Commission on the Status of Women did something yesterday, and so look out for some of those events. And I think that's it.
All right.
Oh,
Excellent.
I wanted to thank our interpreters, our ASL interpreter and our Spanish language interpreters. Without your assistance, we don't have access for some folks. So thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Yes, absolutely.
I'm trying to hide from the sun here. I just want to say real quickly, I was very fortunate. Unfortunately, I missed the Giants game, but I blocked out some calendar hours there at work to be able to come to the back to school staff event that the district put on, and Superintendent Booker, you did an amazing job on stage. And I talked to some of the staff members afterwards. I overheard some folks saying that was the best one they had ever attended. And it's not their first year here, so it's just great. So kudos. And there's a lot that goes involved in preparing that and planning that. So just like Trustee Andrade Zuniga said, thank you to all the staff that put everything together, administrative staff. There were over 1,000 staff members. I don't want to take away from what you were going to say coming up, so I won't say too much, but the theme was intersections and interdependability. That's hard for me to say those together fast. It was amazing. And I was just very proud to be there. And I think it was great to have the time before it started outside, 30, 45 minutes. Folks were mingling, talking, staff members, and I could literally go from crowd to crowd and just stand there and just engage in conversation. I think that was amazing. And as well as your very motivational speech. Everybody loved it. So thank you for that. Thanks.
All right. Excellent. Anyone else?
Well, I got to put my licks in just because everybody else is taking all the oxygen in the room.
Well,
Now you don't have to. It's
let me know.
Well, I was hoping that we'd have a short meeting, but I'm going to put a log on the fire here just to, I will put all the campuses on notice. It's a mission of mine to get I started in the south and I'm heading north, and I'm going to try to get this done in probably by the end of September, which will be a great feat for a guy who's really busy. So I enjoyed coffee and donuts and empowerment in action at Hillsdale. And I enjoyed the spirit rally at San Mateo and just hanging out at San Mateo in general. I hope everybody can top the coffee and donuts when I show up. So and it's good to get out there. And I think people know I'm the Lone Ranger, so I don't bring an entourage, and I just like to talk and see what's going on. So I look forward to that. So you're all on notice.
Excellent. Excellent. No, I'm going to take a turn. It's going to be interesting for me. It's unfortunate that I'm not able to go to a lot of your events, and I really heard some great things about your speech. So I'm really bummed I missed it. But here's what I will say. I have never felt closer to our SMUHSD family now that I'm part of the partner district and feed into our district as the principal of Burlingame Intermediate School. And I just want to share a couple of things of thank yous. Dr. Jen Fong joined us. The BSD had their opening at my school, and she was one of our guests. And it was really nice to see her. And, We're gonna have to ride bikes together because you rode your bike to my thing. We're gonna have to do that. Anyway, a big shout out to her for being part of the Burlingame School District's opening. I also want to shout out to our Mills principal, Principal Pam. I'm not going to say her last name because I always get it wrong, but I really, just a colleague to colleague, I really appreciated your email and trying to help me out getting teachers, because it is hard to get teachers, and I'm still looking for a bilingual teacher. If anybody knows of dual language immersion teacher for 6th grade, I'm looking still. So doing my best, but if you have anything, please let me know. I also want to say, like I said, just that connection with all of you as principals have really got me closer to this district and understanding us. And I really appreciate it. So thank you. I want to shout out to BHS is going to have their 100th anniversary coming up in October. I was on the Avenue at the Wine and Art Food and Art Festival on the Avenue, and they were right next to us. I was doing my job with Burlingame School District, and right next door was BHS alumni going, hey, we're going to have this 100-year reunion. So Laura, I might connect with you. There you are, to just get the word out, because they have a whole bunch of stuff planned, and they were hoping to get connected in some way. And I thought that would be good. Last but not least, I do want to shout out to support the Latinos speaker series. I'm glad Trustee Andrade Zuniga mentioned it, but I really think it's important, and I hope that we can, and I'm glad I'm being part of it, and I really am proud of that. So I really want to promote that. So again, I hope you can spread the word, and everybody can go to that. Other than that, that's my report. So moving on. All right. Communications to the Board of Trustees, there is none. Recognition, none at this time. Moving on to the consent agenda. Does anyone want to pull any item or approve the consent agenda?
I'll move adoption.
Okay, motion made by Trustee Griffin. Second by Trustee Andrade Zuniga for the consent agenda item. Consent agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried 5-0. Going to regular reports. Report of the superintendent. Superintendent Booker.
Thank you very much. So I have a couple of announcements tonight. I first want to talk a little bit about our work with regard to the Aragon pool. So I'm going to read a little bit here. The health and safety of our students is at the forefront of all of our decision making in our district. The facility managers are our certified pool operators and are in charge of the operations and safety of our pool. So I want a big shout out to them and thank you to them. Formal oversight is also provided from the San Mateo County Health Department. Our facility manager at Aragon has presented concerns about the safety of the pool, given issues around the skimming and filtration systems. Out of an abundance of caution for student safety, the district has not released the pool for use, as was discussed earlier during public comment. In the last 2 weeks, district operations staff, district plumbing staff, the district's pool consultant, and an outside plumbing vendor have worked to determine the causes of these issues and correct them. While the district has been successful in solving some of these issues, the district team has found multiple obstructions in the filtration system, which we have not been able to remove even with commercial intervention. The district's outside plumbing vendor and district plumbing staff will reconvene at the site tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. with high-powered plumbing equipment, which we hope will allow us to correct the issue and ensure that the pool is safe for our students. We did the same thing earlier today, and we were not successful today. So we're coming back tomorrow with some higher grade equipment. We know this has been challenging for our PE program and student athletes, as we heard tonight. We heard from many of you over the last couple of days, and we want the pool open just as badly as everyone else. We are hopeful for a safe and swift resolution so students can return to the water as soon as possible. And we will keep the community updated daily. So our facilities department will coordinate with Principal Arbizu, and we'll make sure communications go out every single day until it's resolved. Hopefully it'll be resolved tomorrow. That's our goal. But whether it is or it isn't, we'll start communications daily starting tomorrow. So that's Aragon Pool. Secondly, I want to just big shout out and praise for each school site's counseling department and our assistant principals. I know what it's like. I used to be a principal the first few weeks of school with a cajillion schedule changes and all kinds of student needs coming out from the summer and family needs. And I know how impacted counseling offices are. and how much they work to support our community and our families and our students and our staff as well. So just big shout out to them. Thank you so much. And then lastly, another shout out for Joe Huddleston, Shara Kino, and Laura Chalkley. We had our first student board rep convening. And I'll put some information in tomorrow's weekly with some photos.
Good.
It was really great. We're going to have our 2 student board reps at the September 14th board meeting, but they had a great kickoff. It was really fantastic. They started this text line amongst all of them and had great questions about what it means and what they're going to do. And we're looking at developing maybe some field trips for them as a group to get them out and about. So really big thanks to the 3 of them for coordinating all that. And we look forward to seeing them on the 14th. And then I want to save my comments about the opening of school and all that when we get to the first week of school reports with the principals. So thank you.
Okay. Moving on, the report of the District Teachers Association representative.
Thank you. Good evening, President Land, members of the board, district cabinet, and community members. First of all, welcome back. It's always an exciting time of year, and it's the one time of year that or the one group of people when you say Happy New Year in August, everyone knows what you mean. So I'd just like to recognize all our new teachers, all our new classified staff, and all our new administrators, and welcome to the district. As I said to the new teachers earlier this month, this is a great place to work, and you should feel fortunate and proud to be a part of this team, because it is a great opportunity to further your career. And it would be remiss if I didn't, at the beginning of school this year, talk about the construction, some really great progress and some amazing new features for our schools and upgrades to our schools. But as always, things take longer than we like, and everybody is working hard to accommodate the race to the finish line. In relation to that, I'd really like to recognize our classified maintenance staff for the work that they do every year, every day, but every year at the beginning of the school to support the teachers returning to work and meeting kids and facilitating a working building and environment for the teachers to do the job that they need to do to welcome the kids back. In addition to that, of course, administrators have to manage all of that. And so a shout out to them as well for doing, again, everything they can do to support our members coming back to work and supporting kids. Next week, the Teachers Association will be voting for a ratification vote of the tentative agreement that was reached in June of 2023, earlier this year. I've already commented on that a few times. I do want to just again recognize both bargaining teams for the professional nature of negotiation, and I believe that this agreement is a good agreement. I'll quote former trustee Lee Dwyer saying that a good agreement makes everyone or doesn't leave everyone totally happy. Just we're doing the best we can, but I do want to recognize the collaborative and professional process. So we look forward to bringing forward a successful ratification vote for board approval for the next meeting. Finally, I would also like to continue to recognize the challenging situation that some of our members have up at Peninsula High School. It's some of the students with the greatest need often are presented with some of the greatest challenges with respect to staffing and scheduling. It's important that we consider all options and all aspects of flexibility when we address the needs of our most needy students, and that certainly is important at Peninsula High School. I really ask you to consider and think about what our long-term goal is for Peninsula High School, and if it is to continue to serve our most needy students in a productive and meaningful way that guarantees the best education possible, I think we need to be more reflective and more thoughtful about how we address staffing and scheduling at the school. Not to say that things are terrible. However, the challenges that have been raised and have been described in the recent past continue to exist, and there's more work to be done. And I think we need to be thoughtful and direct about that. And with that, again, Happy New Year, and looking forward to a great year. And Bob, I'm looking forward to buying you a cup of coffee, maybe a donut, whenever we can. Take care.
Thank you, President Childress. All right. Moving on to the report of the CSEA Chapter 519 representative.
President Land, Ms. Clemens is on her way. I was wondering if maybe we could have Mr. Mendez from the adult school. He is teaching right now, so he's doing his report in between. So
oh my goodness, he's working hard. Okay, so we're going to move to the report of the San Mateo Adult School Teachers Association. Mr. Mendez.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for having me over. And before I share with you my report, I want to share with you what's happening right now, because that's how we do it here. Everybody say hi.
Hey.
Yeah, they put all
Awesome.
their best faces. So we have a packed house. All of you have you should have a report. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight some of the most important elements of this report. So we started our registration with a significant influx of new students for the fall 2023 semester. The number of new student registration reached up to 660 students. So the need is there. This surge of registration demonstrates the continued demand for our ESL classes in our community. We also have at least 100 students who were returning. And this speaks of the quality of our ESL programs and the value our students find in their learning experience. So to that end, we want to share with you that there's a wait list because of this high enrollment numbers. We have reached a capacity for our morning and evening ESL classes. So resulting on the closure of the registration for these slots. So we have initiated a waiting list so that we can in the near future hope to accommodate our incoming students. Our afternoon classes, we registered 100 students for the listening, speaking, and writing classes, and that's still open. So we are still welcoming more students. The registration and testing time, our school is currently in the process of facilitating registration for returning students. Again, we continue to accept students for the listening and speaking and writing. Again, if we compare from last year, we enrolled this time 633 students. Pardon me, that would be from fall 2022. And again, our numbers continue to rise almost exponentially. So that is, again, I like to emphasize how much need we have of our services in our school. Also, we have, in addition to the ESL offerings, would like to draw your attention to the business technology classes that are available for enrollment until August 28th of this year. All of you should have all those courses that are being offered. You should have all those in your report. Last but not least, I'd like to share with you that we have a career fair for the September 15th. Our school will host a career fair. I'm also including a flyer as well. Again, our school is experiencing a remarkable interest and engagement from both new and returning students for the fall 2023. Just want to emphasize that we are committed to providing high quality language education to our diverse community. And thank you very much for your continued support for our school's efforts to empower individuals with essential language skills. Go adult school.
All right, go adult school. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks everybody in the audience there behind you.
Right.
Nicely done. Okay, moving on. Do we have Robin yet?
I do not see her yet.
Okay, I'm going to be moving on if that's okay. We will leave a little time if it's okay with the board that we'll give her time when she gets here. Okay. All right. So moving to special reports and appearances, I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent Booker.
Thank you so much. So this evening, we'd love to do our kind of opening first week of school reports and welcome back. And I want to start off a little bit. I want to thank Trustee Chavez for the kind words around the welcome back. I don't know, get together, I guess we call it, and where we have all of our educators across the district, over 1,000 educators. We got together at the San Mateo Performing Arts Center. I want a big shout out to that, to our tech and our facilities group and managers over there at the Performing Arts Center. They were amazing in supporting that event. And you're right, getting everyone together for coffee and some treats and stuff and letting them just mingle was really amazing and just felt good, right? It just felt good to come together. And from what I understand, it's the first time we've brought everyone together. If you remember last year, we were out on the football field, and then for several years because of COVID, we haven't gotten together. So this is really the first time we've had all educators in the district together in a number of years. So really proud that we were able to do that. I did speak, and I know it's a little rah-rah when I'm there. You know, what else is it supposed to be, right? I mean, it's a little rah-rah and get everyone kind of fired up and excited about coming back to school and being together. And the theme, as Trustee Chavez talked about, it was entitled Intersections and Interdependability. I shared a little bit about my life. I used some metaphors around video games. I talked about my family. My parents were in attendance, which I was so grateful for. It was really nice of them to be there, and it just means so much to me. But I talked a little bit about, and I used this theme last year too, about our why, our what, and our how. Why are we educators? Why do we do what we do here in San Mateo Union? What are we trying to achieve with our students, and how are we going to do it? And I talked a lot about our why. You know, why are we here? Because we inherently believe that every student has intrinsic value and is special. We believe that, and it leads to our what. We want every single student to graduate and every single student to thrive. And how are we going to do it? And this comes back to our theme of intersections and interdependability. We're going to do it through the intersections we have with one another as educators and with our communities, and we're going to do it with our interdependability, how we rely on one another and help each other. And so one of the things I said 2 Mondays ago is being clear that, you know, last year, 92% of our students graduated. Amazing work, really amazing. That's something with which we should be very proud. And we have more work to do. It's not enough. And this bold what we have, this every student graduate, every student thrives, it requires really 3 beliefs. One, that, as I said, every single student has intrinsic value and is special. We believe that. And I said to the group, and I'll say it here, if you don't believe that, you need to be in a different district. You are in the wrong district. So it does require that belief. It requires this belief that we understand and we believe that each one of us is committed wholeheartedly to our students and to our colleagues, to one another, and that we believe that each one of us is a stronger educator and a stronger student when we recognize, understand, and appreciate our community intersections and our need for interdependability. In other words, we can't accomplish our what alone, and neither can our students. So I talked about what makes us strong as a district. I talked about our academics and our relationships, the equity work that we do, our commitment to one another, our passion, our history, like the 100-year anniversary at Burlingame and celebration we had at San Mateo last year, and also our bright future. And so, you know, the first few days of school across our district have really been incredible. Trustee Griffin, thank you so much for visiting school sites. And I know we're all going to get a chance to do that over the next several weeks. And I'm really thrilled to invite our principals here today to give us some dimension and some color to how the opening of the 23-24 school year has gone for all of our students, our educators, and our community. And so with that, I want to welcome up, what do we have? We're going to wait. And so with that, we're going to welcome up Principal Arbizu from Aragon to give us a little bit of how it's gone.
Good evening, everybody, and Happy New Year. To Craig Childress's point, we say Happy New Year to each other as we're all coming back. I asked my admin team today, I told them that Mr. Booker asked us to speak for like 2-3 minutes, no more than that. I said, what would you say? And I quote, "We're awesome. Kids are happy. Freshmen are great." So they went really short, but that's where my admin team is. They're having a good time with the students. Orientation was fun. We saw nearly 75% of all of our students taking their pictures, getting their IDs the week before school started. Our tech team, I need to shout out to Malak, Dan, and our library team, because they made sure that every single kid had a Chromebook in their hands by the end of the second day of school. And that is no small feat. So our Link Crew students went and picked up all of the freshman laptops for their group the morning of the first day, distributed it to them, and kids walked out of Link Crew and into their first period classes already knowing how to log into Canvas, how to check their email, how to, do a lot of those critical like first day things. So they knew where to go, and they got a tour of campus, which we had to do the first day of school because construction and cleanup was still happening as of Friday the 11th. So everybody made it work, and it was lovely. All of our kids are in their courses. We're almost totally balanced, which is like, what? So if you've ever worked on a master schedule, I'm like going to knock on everything I can find because I don't know it'll happen again this fast. So we're enjoying it. We're headed right into a WASC year. It's a great opportunity to review and reflect upon our progress, and then really take some time to celebrate all of the amazing things that we have accomplished and know that we can do hard things together. But then also take a look at the areas where we need to do a little bit better. And so we've started having that conversation already, and all of my departments are looking at, how they are specifically going to implement instructional strategies to support our most marginalized students. That is our focus. Those are the students that we have at Aragon too, and they deserve our utmost attention. Couple hiccups. We had some internet instability and some senior email data stuff that happened. That was quickly supported by Simon and his team. They came over to help all of our kids like change their passwords and make sure all of their data was okay. And it was, from what we can see. We celebrated our very longtime admin assistant, Becky Foster. She just retired. Tuesday, like 2 days ago, was her last day. And it was really sweet. So she was hired in the late 90s when Ann Rarden was the principal at Aragon, and she's supported 4 principals over her tenure. And Aragon principals stay for a while. So like Ann was there for 6 years. Kurt came over. He was there for 6 years. Pat was there for 12 years. She's had 3 years with me. And what was really sweet is we had all of the principals that she has supported in a picture together. It's really cool. And then she also hung out for a little while longer to make sure that her replacement, Catherine, is in place and ready to go. She basically wrote a book on how to be a good admin assistant. It's 2 fat binders. So if anybody wants to know how Becky did it, she left it for us. Hiccups, we have the pool. That's an issue. It was interesting to see some of the pictures today with things that can get eaten by the filtration system, like pool noodles, and there were full kickboards in there, which was spectacular. So when you wonder why things are not filtering properly, look for the kickboards and the goggles. So in solidarity, I love our water polo kids. Are really excited to get back in the pool. And I'm looking forward to getting them there and watching them in their natural habitat, the water world. Other things that are going on, we've got a lot of stuff with baseball. We're shifting that 10th grade athletic PE and study hall. We were just going right in. It was a really fast shift, but we're in it to win it. So here we go. Our community, by the way, loves our new look. If you haven't seen our stripes, we have gone from battleship chic to Aragon sleek. The stripes are awesome. Oh yeah, we're gonna code that. Our teachers came back. They did all the things. Our facilities team, I have to shout out to them. Mr. Booker was not joking when he mentioned that our facilities manager, Gabby Gonzalez, has the health and safety of our students at heart. So much that after the tile was done and the water was back in and it was chlorinated, she looked at a couple of the tiles along the top and she was concerned that there were some sharp edges, and she came into my office and told me to bring my swimsuit. And I thought she was kidding. She was not. And so I did, and I brought my son along too. do. And the three of us kind of went in a little train all around the pool tiles to make sure that everything was okay. And we found some damage, and got it replaced quickly. We didn't want anybody, especially our scared swimmers, to get hurt. And I don't know if there's any other way to do quality assurance than to throw on your suit and just do it. So we did. So I'll leave you with that image. And thank you so much. It's been a really good start to the school year. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up,
Excellent.
we have our bridge principal, Samia Showman.
Evening. So our preparing for welcoming our students back started on the Monday of the professional learning. So everyone was very excited after the opening. We came back together as a staff, both certificated and classified. And we spent a lot of time considering, I think you all have seen our logo. What does it mean to foster in Lakesh? That meaning of you are my other me, and love, justice, and hope in our program and for our students. And I can never explain or don't have the words to tell you what an incredible staff I have, both again, teachers and support staff who are so fully committed to supporting every student we serve, from those that literally just arrived over a couple of weeks ago to this country and are learning the very basics, to those who are returning and we're going to see graduate in May. So some of the things our staff shared as we were engaging in conversation was that at Bridge, we love unconditionally, regardless of status, regardless of how much formal education you've had, and that it will not be a barrier to you finding a family at our school who will make you feel safe. They shared that we foster justice through access and advocacy, that the fact that you've had a limited education was not your fault, and you are worthy, and we'll treat you as such. And that will foster hope by making sure you're armored and prepared to continue your education in whatever manner you choose. So it's just really inspirational to hear them really kind of dig in and say those things. And then to reconnect, right, around our vision for what we want for all of our students. So then Tuesday was like, okay, clean up, get organized, get posters on the wall. I think they love having me on campus. And at the same time, I'm like, that's crooked. We should like put more color in here. Let's do these things. Let me help you. And then on Wednesday, we had our kids come back to school, all smiling and excited. I'm happy to report they're still smiling and excited after 2 weeks. For some, their first schooling experience in America. So they're working hard, math, science, economics, history, PE, art. And they spent, the first day we really did a lot of community building and having our kids think about what is in Lakesh? Why do we say love, justice, and hope? And then doing lots of fun things like being in groups and having a roll of toilet paper and some tape, and then having a fashion show because they have to figure out an outfit. It was hilarious and they were all into it. And then building towers out of, spaghetti and marshmallows and those kinds of things. So it was a really great mix. So I love being on campus with our students. I would be remiss not to shout out the adult school has worked really hard in getting us into classrooms and space and sharing and all of the things. So thank you. It's just really special to be able to actually be with students and staff on a daily basis and have a lot of ideas, right, of how to serve our students. And then I will say, one of the activities we had students do is take a sticky note and put it on different posters in their classes, like Bridge is. So some of the things our kids said is Bridge is very, very divertido, very fun. I love Bridge. Bridge is happy, fun. It's a community. It's a team. It helps us stay united and respectful. Bridge is like an opportunity to succeed, to graduate, and to learn new things. It's peace and happiness. It's a very nice place where we learn a lot of things more than you think. It's a place where I love and respect myself. Bridge is like family for me. And then I was happy to get 2 gifts this week. One was a picture of 2 of our former students who did come to us without having former high school education, who graduated in May. It was a selfie of 2 of them, and they're like, "Where are we?" And they were at CSM. And then today, Kalani Bowers from CSM dropped by and she's like, I have a gift for you. And it's this College of San Mateo Impact Report. And here is one of our kids who was taking a dual enrollment class last year and who's enrolled taking 2 classes now with 2 other of our students. So really excited to create a lot more of this and to really realize our vision of bringing love, justice, and hope to our students and our staff. So thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you so much. Next, we've got Burlingame High School Principal Fong.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jen Fong, Principal Burlingame. So with the theme of intersections and interdependability, I shortened that with the students to teamwork. And they've been working with me to keep the quad clean because I told them that otherwise the birds might get them. And they've been doing a good job. So I'm very happy about that. There's so much greatness at Burlingame. The staff is amazing. Echoing some of what my colleagues have already said, just being able to have such an outstanding master schedule, especially with a new assistant principal in that role. We've had very few schedule changes and very few conflicts, and it's due to the hard work of, all of the staff. And then I've been treated. I've been going around to see all the teachers and seeing how engaged students are and all the wonderful lessons that teachers have prepared. On the first day, we spent a lot of time talking about community and getting to know each other's names. And then, of course, we've dug right into the content, and the teaching is wonderful at Burlingame. But a couple of things I wanted to mention were we did have some students win a community service award. And so over the summer, they were invited to Washington, D.C. to receive that award. So it was, recognized at a national level for the work that they've done. And I think it's tonight or tomorrow night, our music program is opening at the Shoreline Amphitheater for Foreigner and the Loverboy concert, which I just thought was exciting.
Wow. That's a big deal.
Jealous.
And then we have the centennial, and this year we decided to do a second yearbook, one that's special to honor the centennial. And so that's just an example of how our students are going to engage with our alumni and looking back over the 100 years of our being BHS. And then I'm going to end with some of our construction, because that is as a theme that you'll hear. And we're really grateful that the voters have passed a bond that allow us to upgrade our facilities. It's, while it's painful while it's going on, it's amazing once it's built. One thing that was built this summer, and we invite you to come see it, is the freshman quad was redesigned by our architecture class. It was not a very costly project, but because the students designed it, they sought out feedback and focus groups and through surveys. They did a lot of renderings. They included some of the professional construction people that gave guidance and feedback. And then that vision actually became a reality this summer. And then we were able to get new turf for our field, and that impacts all of our physical education as well as a variety of sports. And, I've been out there on it. It's very springy and it's great. And we did switch. This will be something new for the alumni. We switched the home and the visitor side. So for our first game tomorrow, if you come, make sure you come up to the correct side. And then finally, you might notice if you came by campus that we're missing our gym. It has been demolished, and we have some videos of it going down. It went down very, very quickly. And we hope that construction will be on schedule for us to have a brand new gym in January of 2025. And that's a really exciting project. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you. Next, we have Jose Gomez from Cappuccino.
All right. Good evening, and well, Happy New Year. I'm going to be a little bit selfish and say one of my highlights was starting the year off with a full team. So
Nice.
that's really exciting for me. Selfishly, reasons attached to that, but it's great to have a full set of team and starting the school year. One of the highlights that I also want to say is the school year started in June for some of our students, specifically around 30 students, rising 8th graders from Parkside. We were able to have and implement the bridge program that I think was the first time since COVID. And I want to thank Julia and her team to able to implement the program again. One, provide funding. Two, and also allowing us to implement a different layer, which is adding SEL curriculum to it. And I just want to recognize Ms. Lemire, who ran it, along with Ms. Vascareza, and then Ms. Millard, our counselor, who implemented the SEL curriculum. And I think it goes to show that these 30 students started off the school year in the right direction, the right foot, and we welcome them with open arms on the ranch, as I say once in a while, over there at Cappuccino. The other thing I wanted to highlight is a welcome day that we had for all of our 9th grade students. Leadership does an amazing job year after year to be creative. One of the themes that we pulled from Superintendent Booker's message was just the team building, the connectedness, being intentional with those activities. I think our leadership teacher did an amazing job doing that. The other piece that was new this year was incorporating an ELD welcome day, where we identified our new Spanish-speaking families to CHS, and we provided a tailored program for them, but they also were included in the scavenger hunt where they have to find the principal. And yes, during the summer, I do dress a little bit more casually, and then they come ask, where's the principal? I'm like, I look around, I'm like, that's me. They're like, oh, okay. Can you sign here to get their prize? So that was great to see the intentionality. And I think it just builds off the momentum from last year with supporting and doing a better job for our ELD students and providing more access to them. So kudos to them, and Sal Castillo, who's our EL specialist there, ELD specialist there. So I just wanted to recognize them. We had our annual 9th grade parent night. We had around 150 parents attend. And I think the most important thing of that event is to reduce the anxiety and stress for the new parents coming in, and providing them and connecting them with resources and with us to make sure that they're sending their kids to a great school in a safe spot, safe space, and inclusive of whoever they are. So I think that event went well. One of the things that our staff focused on this year and will be working on throughout the year is tied to our equity imperative. And I'm going to read one of our equity imperatives for Cappuccino, is to work to increase our students' sense of belonging and connectedness at CHS. And one of the things I'm working with my staff and pushing my staff is to do this for staff, making sure that we increase staff's connectedness and a sense of belonging at our site. And then so we could have, like Mr. Superintendent Booker says, crunchy conversations. And when those happen, we are able to have those so we can move the needle in the right direction and obviously disrupt some of the negative outcomes for our students. So with that, we kind of pivoted with our professional development and wanted to make sure it was intentional to build connectedness and community as a staff. We borrowed Char's 10 bags of Jenga for that, and it was a hit. We had some prizes and stuff like that. And we also gave time and developed some curriculum to promote connectedness, but not only for the first week of school, but throughout the whole year. So we make sure we're sustaining that and building off that throughout the whole year, not just the start. And then lastly, it's just great to have students on campus, students and staff, to get to hear the stories, reconnect, build authentic relationships, and hear the great things our staff and their kids are often doing. So thank you again, and great to see you all.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Next up, Hillsdale, Principal Gilbert.
Good evening. I was on campus the Saturday before school started, watching the construction ease toward its completion. And one of the workers walked past me and then kind of doubled back and said, "You're the principal, right?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "My daughter graduated last year from your school." And he said, she really, really struggled in school before she came to Hillsdale. And he paused and he said, "Your school turned her life around."
Wow.
And he said, "Thank you. Continue doing what you're doing." And he's then brightened and said, "I have a freshman coming in next year." And it was really a great way to start the year, but it really made me think too, the work we're doing to prepare for day one starts well in advance of that first day. For us, back in the spring, we were spending a lot of time, a lot of energy sending teachers, staff, and students down to Abbott, which is our main feeder school. We were doing groups with their students, identifying students who were really struggling in 8th grade. We were building culture keepers, so our Empowerment Through Action program. We also had a bridge program that brought students onto campus in the summer. They were participating in field trips and school tours. During this summer, we had over 50 teachers participate in a retreat to think about curriculum and curriculum design and the elements of that design related to our graduate profile. We obviously had a lot of construction going on, some of it's still going on, and we had staff yet amongst all that on campus all the time. Counselors, the classified staff did an amazing job, obviously our facilities team, but also teachers who were meeting in groups, planning curriculum on campus, and then building up to the days right before school started. I have the great privilege of being an 11th grade advisor this year. So we were able to meet as an advisor with the 10th grade advisors. We met and passed off information so that on day one, I have a huge spreadsheet of information about families, about each student. And I've already participated, as all advisors do, in multiple Kid Talk conversations, getting to know them. We are leading toward all 9th and 11th graders doing student-led conferences by the end of September, which will allow us to meet our goal of making sure that a team of teachers knows every single student on campus by the end of September. We are looking forward to a great school year. It's nice to see the students on campus. It's nice to know that athletics are happening and plays are being prepared for, that the events of school that even a couple of years ago seemed so fragile are taking root. So we're very excited about that. We're excited about the work that's happening in our advisories and in our small learning communities. Again, in our Empowerment Through Action program is developing their groups. We will continue our Peace Pantry. We feed over 200 families in our community every week. And we have had wonderful parent response to meetings already. We had over 50, around 50 in our Latino parents initial meeting this week. And we had over 300 9th grade families come to our Maze Day. While their students were being supported through our leadership program, we were able to meet with them. And so it's been wonderful to be back. Thank you for all of your support. And I can't thank enough, again, all of our classified, our counselors, our facilities team, and our teachers for getting us ready for this year. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up from Mills, Pam Jasinski.
Done. Okay. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for giving us an opportunity to share with you our opening school year. Similar to Jeff and Jose, we started the school year in July with our Bridge to Algebra program, which we actually had at BIS this year because our campus was closed for construction. And so thank you, Trustee Land. It's great to see you there getting settled in your new home. And we had 25 of our incoming 9th graders in a co-taught classroom there at BIS, practicing their math skills and getting ready for high school algebra. So shout out to our 2 teachers, our special education teacher, Israel Hakim, and our math teacher, Molly Kovacs, and really encourage us to bring them back for one of the spotlight presentations so you can hear more about that incredible program. And then we welcomed our teachers back to the Viking ship. It's hard to believe it's just last Monday. And down to hear Superintendent Booker's welcome, and back to our site then to dig into our work at Mills. And so we're building off of Superintendent's idea around connectedness and interdependency. And we're going to talk about fostering humanity in our classrooms throughout Mills, and really trying to look at some of our curriculum, our pedagogy, our programs and policies, and to uplift where we're doing well, and to talk about where we can do better to work for more equitable outcomes for our students. On the Tuesday workday, Erica Lyons with the Via Heart Project, who I actually met at the Mills opening for the fields, and I think sits on the Citizen Oversight Committee here. connected with me, and she volunteered to lead a CPR and AED training for our staff. So that was a great workshop that she led, and I want to thank her. Really important skills for us to refresh and remember, life-saving skills. So our teachers appreciated that. And then Wednesday morning, the first day of school, our staff convened at 8:15 at our front entrance and did our annual student welcome. So our students walked in and saw 25 teachers with pom-poms and spirit gear cheering them on. And so we've been doing that for the past 8 years. It really sets the tone. Although a lot of students are embarrassed, there's no way for them to run because they're cornered by teachers with pom-poms. And we had a group of parent spectators this year taking some videos and pictures during that short ceremony. So then our freshmen spent the whole day in orientation. That's one of the pivots we've made over the last couple of years, having day one be freshman orientation so that all of our students can join us. Nobody is left behind because their family's still on summer vacation or they have to take care of siblings. And our upperclassmen led community tours and did community building circles, a scavenger hunt, and then they got their Chromebooks, their lockers, their school pictures. Superintendent Booker and Shar came by. They got their school photos taken for the school year too. So you'll be in our yearbook, by the way, now as well. So Mr. Griffin, sorry you missed it, but maybe next year you can come by, get your school photo taken first day of school. And the rest of our students were in a 2-hour orientation where they built community with their 4th period class, did a door decoration contest around our student created Tier 1 theory of action. When we vibe, connect, and respect, we grind, which means to work hard and learn, and then thrive and aspire and grow. And so the parents will actually be voting at back to school night for the winning door. So we're excited to see what they think. Finally, I just want to share with you, our community is really grateful and lots of positive feedback about the work done over the summer with the Transite Encapsulation Project and the revamping of our graphics in center court. I can't wait for you all to come and take a look. And the front of the school has become a hot spot for selfies this year, selfie photos with our logo. This year, we also launched a new CTE Green Technology class for dual enrollment, where students can earn CTE credit, science credit, and dual enrollment, college credits. So, and then we're really excited. We have a core group of students showing up for flag football, girls flag football practice, and we're looking forward to our first game. So happy fall and go Vikings.
Thank you. Nicely done.
Thank you. Next up, we've got Principal Campana from Peninsula.
Thank you. So I came home this afternoon to quickly check in before I came tonight. And so I happened to see my son's an 8th grader and some of his friends go to BIS and some were smiling and said, "How was school?" And they said, it was cool. I go, "How's the new principal?" Seems pretty cool. And so I said, "He's not bad."
That's high praise. That's high praise. I'll take it.
Yeah. So I know it's your first day. And so I had to throw that out there and I thought that was great. So quick recap for Peninsula High School. It was great hearing Superintendent Booker's comments about, interdependability and intersections. And for us, it was great because we did on our PD, we had a gentleman who we have a new person in our PD role this year, Daniel Tostado, and he really wanted to organize and get all the staff and the different people in different positions there because we're such a small staff and it's really important. So we were able to get a speaker by the name of Charlie Applestein, who came in and talked about ways of building relationships with students and kind of using different techniques and humor. And I really want to thank the district in a lot of ways, a lot of the different departments, because we asked for everybody to be there and we had everybody from maintenance to different roles they're able to attend. And so it really kind of echoed what you can make those words, but it was nice to see different departments allow them to attend. And then we had a great orientation on Tuesday. We're supposedly, we have right now about 135 students this year. And always our attendance starts off slow, but this year it's higher within that number. And so at our orientation, we had a fair amount of parents and students that showed up. It was much more well attended than years past. They seemed to walk out with smiles, which is always a good sign. And then on our first day of school, we did a resource day, and we had a barbecue. And I want to thank Ms. Beglasoff, who works in my office, to help organizing, and our 2 campus safety specialists for helping set up, Mr. Liggins and Mr. Beta. But it was really successful. Kids liked it. And we went around on that day. We had teachers kind of supporting and being students with them. And we had our support staff kind of being the teachers that day. So it was fun. Everybody got to kind of change their roles. And then we've done Yonder similar to San Mateo High School, but one of the things we've added this year is before the kids got to put it in their pouch and then keep it with them. This year they put it in the pouch and they keep it with us. And so they have to keep their phones with us. And that's a whole nother extra layer, but they get their IDs. And so we use our ideas similar to the other schools where they use Teach More. And it's really to kind of track supports and so forth. And so it's been adjustment, but I want to thank our office staff, Ms. Barrientos and Mr. Daway, for really helping out in that process as well. But so far the kids are adjusting. And so on Friday we did bowling. And so with our students and our staff in the second part of the day. And so the kids asked, do we get our phones back? I'm like, no, you guys got to go without your phones. And so they did that. And they're really talking. It was great to hear the spirit and interacting with the staff. But what was funny is we took 2 buses, and normally we take 2 buses in years past because of attendance. It might be 2/3 full, maybe a half. And the buses were completely full. So much so that I was the only adult who could ride our second bus. And so it felt like an episode of those who remember Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where Rooney gets on the bus and there's 1 seat left. And as they all watch you go down the aisles, it's just, and then it's like, oh no, he's sitting next to me. And so, but it was fun, and the kids walked away with smiles, and the staff did too. And they were great interacting with the students, and it was just having a lot of people out. And I also want to recognize this week that we had Dr. Kempe, who came out, and Superintendent Booker and Shar, who kind of came out to support us at different times. So it was really nice. And then we kicked it off last night. We're trying to do events to get families involved and create community. So we had an ice cream social. A lot of people showed up. Next month, we're going to do an art night. So you're welcome to attend and get the families and students involved, and obviously the community together. And one of the things that's always really important, every year we get 60% of our students are new. So you always have to recreate that culture and community. And so for a lot of the students, it's been great that the returning students are really setting that level of leadership, which brings me to our leadership teacher, Ms. Holmes, who's filling some big shoes and getting back into the saddle doing it. So tomorrow's our first Fun Friday, but the kids are really excited. How do we get the new kids involved and make sure everybody feels included? So more to come on that, but we're excited about that. And then we've added 2 things this year, and I want to thank again Dr. Kempke for including PHS and YCLL. And we've added support time to support the students as far as getting help. And we've added flex time, which is not like the flex times of the other sites. Sport time's more traditional like the other sites. But for us, for flex time, the students get to create kind of different spaces where they learn different things. So I did a yoga meditation walk group today with another teacher. We had an art space where they got to work and kind of do different things, but kids really liked it. And what's really important about this is that students created this. We didn't come up with this idea. This was student-led, which also helped with how we created and adjusted our schedule. So I want to thank for everybody getting our students involved. And then one of the big things is, acknowledging the different work that goes on. And so, we've had a lot of changes in the last couple of years. Mr. Varela, who we lost recently, one of our staff members in maintenance, who had to go on. So he really did a great job of getting our school together. Our MTSS, Ms. Yaguna, does a heck of a job. She's taken on both roles for us to kind of make sure MTSS has a strong support for kids. But I would really be reminiscent if I didn't leave out a key component and give them a lot of credit. There's been some changes. We have bigger size
classes this year and kids are showing up. And so in years past, we've had classes of 10 to 12 kids and maybe 20 kids on our roster. This year is a little bigger and we got 20, 22 kids showing up in a class, and it feels a lot different. But I think what's really important is to remember our teachers. They do a lot to kind of welcome these kids, to understand them, make them feel invited. And I've seen a lot of them go out of their way to have lunch with these kids, to share their stories, give them space, and make them feel connected. But I think as we continue to make this adjustment, it's also important that they carry a lot. And so as we continue to work with them, we're going to keep trying to find ways to make sure that they feel supported and also have the tools to be successful in the classroom. So we are off to a great start. And if you want to come by for tomorrow's Fun Friday or one in the future, I hope you can do it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next
right.
up, we've got Angela Taylor from our San Mateo Adult School.
Hey. Right. Okay. Good evening, Superintendent Booker, President Land, Vice President Andrade Zuniga, and all members of the board. I am beyond grateful to have this opportunity to share with you how our first days of the fall semester have been this week with students. Now, if I can paint a picture for you. Arabic, Spanish, Ukrainian, Russian, Mandarin, Japanese, Portuguese, murmurs of excited rumblings, chatter and conversations in languages from all over the world filled each corridor, space, and crevice of our campus and Smart Center this week. My assistant director, Kira Mann, and I greeted teachers and students at our flagpole during our morning session break time. Students emptied classrooms for their 15-minute break. You could feel the energy and excitement. Students scurried around, some rushing to find friends, some to grab a snack or make a phone call. Spirits were high and energized. Teachers returned to spotless classrooms and impressively shiny waxed floors that I was even reluctant to walk on. Thanks to our incredible maintenance staff, Tommy, Oliver, and Eddie, who always do a phenomenal job keeping our school clean. Dedicated teachers beautifully prepared their classrooms, making them ever so inviting for students. They were set and ready to go. Program coordinators worked tirelessly, managing program needs, including putting out a few major logistical fires. Students showed up with smiles and pleasantries, inquisitively present and eager, some nervous and unsure as they figured out logistics while navigating their classroom assignments. Dedicated classified staff with help from our student volunteers, student ambassadors, and a few available teachers once again carried the torch and managed and continue to manage the demanding and at times grueling registration process. Their efforts lay the foundation for the work we do enrolling our students, and thanks to them, we've celebrated upwards of 900 students. That's across programs so far that have been registered at our school. Hundreds of interested adults stood in long extended lines that wrapped around in circles, expanding outwards towards the San Mateo High School basketball court, an astonishing sight to see. Our fall semester is here, and we started with a bang. I am so excited to announce we are hosting, as Oscar mentioned, our first in a very long time job fair, and there will be many more to come in partnership with Job Train. I am very grateful to our superintendent for, as many of us have mentioned, his very powerful retreat and the theme around intersections and interdependability. And I did borrow that and introduce that in my PD with my teachers and staff, and it was truly powerful. And so for that, I'm grateful, and I am looking forward to a great new year this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. From San Mateo High School, Yvonne Shu.
This is what happens when you're getting older, the reading glasses, bigger font. Good evening. Thank you. I don't feel so alone now. Good evening, President Land, members of the board, Superintendent Booker, and members of the cabinet. I am the very proud principal of San Mateo High School, and I stand before you reinvigorated and really excited about a brand new school year, especially given last year's really rough start. That it is fantastic. And so I think our staff is also feeling a sigh of relief that we made it through the first week of school without incident, except for a couple of ding dongs, as Superintendent Bookett would call our special students that we are going to champion and make changes in their lives.
You're here.
As all of my colleagues have said, school does not start on Wednesday, August 16th. It starts well before then. And sometimes even before the last day of the last school year is over, with the hiring of new faculty. And so we had a few of our new hires as San Mateo High School alumni. And so our saying, once a Bearcat, always a Bearcat, rings so true. It's really nice to see recent graduates, as recent as last year's class, come back and is working side by side with our ELD students. He was also an AVID student, and so he knows the experience of making sure that you are helping out others so that they are just as successful as you are. We welcomed a new assistant principal, a new dean, and during the summer, a returning facility manager. And so lots of new faces. We also moved lots of offices, and so it was very confusing, even for some of our returning teachers, heading towards one side of the hallway and then kind of stopping and going, oh my gosh, I'm on the wrong side, having to go back. So we made sure teachers took a tour of all of the offices so that they weren't sending students to the wrong places on the first day of school. It's already confusing enough as it is for freshmen. We also have 3 new counselors and a new wellness counselor, and soon to be, we'll be getting another new wellness counselor because one of ours is going to be the lead at another school. And so I'm very happy with her promotion. She's worked very hard for it. We welcomed our returning students at registration day, handing out new Yonder pouches, getting ID photos taken. Our new activities director did an incredible job with our student ambassadors. We had over 80 students come and volunteer their time and go through training, and then kind of paying it forward by working with our freshmen. We welcomed close to 300 freshmen at our orientation, so pretty much our entire class, with fun tours, activities, barbecue lunch, and so much more. And so it was fun watching them kind of find their lockers and trying to open lockers and kind of navigating around and, you know, just feeling at home. Our campus again was teeming with students, and it came back to life. Teachers who were already stopping by campus were quick to take notice of the attitude of our students, both new and returning. Like my colleague said, they were patient, friendly, smiling, and our first week has been nothing but this, with a couple of students pressing their luck with us already. At our gathering on our PD day, our staffalty, which we call them, our staff and faculty, so everybody has a sense of belonging and being addressed as one is really important to us. They were excited and happy to be back. A new year, a new beginning. Like other schools, we reviewed our WASC action plans, the progress made in addressing school culture, mental health, and student engagement. We also looked at our menu of equitable grading practices and the commitment we made to each other to try at least one new practice this year. This year, a team of 4 incredible teachers met a couple of weeks prior to school and created 3 days of activities for our whole entire school. Day 1 was devoted to community building. So every period had a different type of community building so that there would not be any student going to 3rd period and saying, I did this already. So teachers followed directions and made sure that they followed the lessons that were given. So it was really nice for them not to have to think about what they were going to do or be worried about, you know, I'm not that kind of person and doing touchy-feely stuff, but there was something for everybody. Day 2, we had our tech day. And of course, our tech day was on the day that the district was experiencing some connectivity issues, but as teachers, they took it in stride, as they always do when things don't go smoothly. So kudos to them. And then day 3 was our policy and procedure party. So they learned about rules. I want to say there is a interesting slide in where students had to guess. There was a picture of Jesse Boyce, Mike Holtz, and Sean Reifschneider. So if you know who they are, I hope no one takes any offense. Jeff knows who they are. They're all 3 white men with blonde hair and blue eyes. And so the students were shown a picture of them on a slide and said, "Who's our assistant principal?" And so, of course, all the freshmen were like, "We have no idea. They all look the same to us." Until, like, I think it was our psych teacher that said, you know, once we started giving clues, and this is, I guess, a study in psychology, that one is a music teacher, and they were like, "Oh, we know who that is." And they all like chose Mr. R. And so, and then one is a social studies teacher, and then they chose Jesse Boyce. And then they were able to deduce. And so she went over with them, like, it's just how their picture and how they present themselves does say a lot about who they are. So they got a kick out of that. So we started the school year, our whole faculty on the same page with our WOW week, our week of welcome, even though it was only 3 days. Walking on campus, there was a calmness to the campus that I don't think I have experienced since COVID. And I think my teachers would all agree that this would be the last time San Mateo High School does 4 days of 1 through 7 periods, that we definitely prefer block schedule. Like, they were like, what were we thinking at that time? And so we're probably going back to our block schedule next year. I want to thank everybody. They have done a fabulous job of opening school. And for that, I am ever grateful to the faculty at San Mateo High School, from our operations crew to student nutrition and every one of our faculty members, to make sure that San Mateo has had a great start to a new school year. Thank you, and go Bearcats.
Yay. Thank you.
All right, to round us out here, we've got Don Scatena for Middle College.
Good evening, President Land, Board of Trustees and Cabinet. Here to present for the opening of Middle College and at the College of San Mateo. They've been back at work for 3 weeks now, so it doesn't feel, they've been at it for a bit. They had orientation, they had their own preparation 4 days before students arrived. Students arrived around August 9th. We had 5 days of orientation with the students. Orientation gets students prepared, collaboration. They have comfort. We build comfort for the students. Remember, you have 210 students, the largest middle college we've ever had, and they're coming from 6 campuses. So can you imagine, you're coming together from 6 different locations, different neighborhoods, different schools and cities. So a lot of focus was just on having fun, on getting prepared, and working on their college skills. But most of it was about fun. And so that was around August 9th. Notes, when you have 210 students, no schedule is the same up at Middle College. So each one is unique. What the selling point is that a student gets to choose from a variety of courses that are in the course catalog, and they build a unique schedule for themselves. And so very few schedules are alike in the school. And that does make it complicated for our counselor, for Ms. B, for our coordinator, Allison Block, and for the 6 advisor teachers. And so we take the students through it so that they have comfort, that they understand, they get familiar with the campus, get familiar with themselves. And so a lot of work goes into it. On the 16th, August 16th, we start our instruction. This is one of the first times we've ever started our high school instruction on the same day that CSM started their instruction. Normally, we have orientation, and then we have instruction, and then we have the CSM classes starting much later. But so it aligned for the first time. Some of the big things that I'll just say, air conditioning. It's amazing. Air conditioning really helps. And the rooms are cool. It is fantastic. I'm saying this because we're in an older building. We did not have air conditioning in the building. And so CSM has installed temporary units. The permanent units will be going on. And I'm making light of it. I was at Peninsula for many years when we didn't have air conditioning there also. A 74 degree day can be a 85 to 90 degree day indoors. But it kept me in shape at the time. The other thing that's new is some of our students come because they have they completed geometry their sophomore year. That's about half of our sophomores, right? In the district take geometry their sophomore year. And when they come to middle college, they would expect to take a college course like Algebra 2. But as you know, the state last year approved that no more non-transferable courses would be made available to students. And so we were stuck in a spot where we had to figure out how we're going to bridge that gap. And we bridged that gap by hiring 2 sections of an Algebra 2 teacher. And we hired a fantastic teacher from Cappuccino, and she's been doing a fantastic job. We revamped our advisory program. Students started our advisory program. Advisory is the one course that all students take at the same time. It's the one thing that we can count on. And the emphasis on mental health, it's on social emotional learning, and it's on college preparation. One thing that we find to be essential, it's our foundation, is our one-to-one meetings. Every 2 weeks, students will have their one-to-one meetings with their advisor. Very unique. Every student gets it. And we do that for about 20 minutes. But can you think about it? You're making this transition. You have this as your backbone of your support. It is the foundation of our middle college. Club activities starting this Friday. Every Friday is club day at middle college. And so we have a long list of clubs. I think it's something like 8 to 10 different clubs, including student council, which is fantastic. And so there's a new spirit up at CSM with the new administration, rebranding, things of that nature. It's a great spot, and the vibe on the campus is wonderful. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Just want to thank all of our principals
Thank you.
and hand it back over to you.
All right,
President Lamb.
excellent.
Yeah.
So I know that our board would definitely have a few comments. So I'll start with whoever would like to start. Anyone? I'll go first.
Yeah.
You don't mind? Okay.
You never go
So,
first.
well, I'm just going to say this. First, whoever's good at master schedule, can I talk to you? Because I've got 1,100 people and I inherited just a mess. So just listening to you saying you had little problems and you guys got through some stuff, I was very impressed. So I may be just calling you for that. Anyway, that was a personal note. But on a very serious note, I am really proud of it's been a while since we've been together. COVID has really kept us from actually having you guys here all together. But what I want to tell you is, I know I've been here for about 7 years now. I am very proud of this group. I've seen you guys year after year and what you've done, and I've learned the room, how your leadership is, and you're all very unique. And what I want to say is, what I loved about today was everyone brought their unique style and your own school and your own character to the presentation today. And it's so obvious that you do that with your school and your leadership with your school. And what makes me so proud is, whether it's the continuation school or the middle college or the bridge program or our continuation, our comprehensive school. Sorry, see, I'm turning back into a middle school principal. What's so amazing is all your diversity and all the things that you bring. I'm so proud of it because it helps our students. And just to hear you, I'm just so proud of it. Just the things that you said, like building authentic relationships, the connectedness, the unique things that the equity imperative that you're talking about, all of these things, all of these things you do with your own style of leadership, and it comes across. And I'm just so proud of just being part of this board because I see all of you. And now that I'm the feeder school going to the high schools, is kind of unique, and it just makes me even prouder because I know where my kids are going to be going in a few years, and I'm proud of that. So it's been amazing to see you tonight, and I just want you to know that. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you to all these wonderful, amazing principals. So thank you.
Go next. Gosh, ditto to everything that President Land said. But one of the things that I love seeing was the resonating theme with the interconnected interdependence. It's so important because even just in what you're saying with like including your whole staff and including families and things like that, it's the students learn that not just for now, but for their entire future, and how interconnected and how interdependent we are in our world. And it just shows them also as they get older to not forget that. A lot of the things that we do here are foundations for their futures. And I'm just like, I'm so happy that they have all of you in their foundations. It brings me back to when my kids were younger and navigating all the campuses and being a parent the first day. And when the kids start freshman year, it's like, you don't know what to expect. And I'm so glad that it's so welcoming and warm. Hearing that not one community was left out into that introduction. All of the students that also no student was ignored or left out, or I love knowing that they feel love. And like Samia said about one of the students or some of the students saying that they see the best of themselves here. Like that's excellent. Because in education is where they should see themselves as great, no matter what they're interested in. And so that helps them get into their future and do great things. So just thank you for being so just amazing and welcoming and innovative and just accepting just like the direction that was given and then just going forward with that. It's excellent. So thank you.
Very good. Any other comments before we move on? Okay, we're going to move on. You want to go? Actually, go ahead. I'm going to call on you. Okay.
Hey.
There you go.
I'm just, okay. Well, I want to thank everybody who spoke, all the principals and school site leaders. I mean, it's amazing to see your energy, yourself, your staff, all the students, and just to hear the welcoming of all the ninth graders at all the school sites. I mean, I had a couple of ninth graders, right? Now they're not ninth grade. I have a senior at Cappuccino, go Mustangs. And I have a college kid also. So that's a good kid too. But just knowing that every school site has the welcoming of every parent, we're transitioning from the middle school to the high school is a big deal. And it should be, but to have the ninth graders feel embraced and the entire family is great. And also hearing the amazing energy around Peninsula Bridge, adult school, and the middle college. I mean, just hearing that energy. And I echo what my former colleagues right here, my colleagues, not former colleagues. That came out wrong.
The ones who spoke before you.
Exactly. There you go. It's just amazing. So thank you for bringing the energy here and sharing all the good news that's happening at all our school sites. And like Trustee Griffin said earlier, I actually want to also visit all the school sites and be a part of the energy. And it makes me feel like I wish I could go back in time and be a student at any of your school sites, because I would love just to be a student on any of your school sites. So thank you for bringing your energy here and for sharing what's going on the first week of school or second week of school. Thank you.
Very good. Yes. Okay. Jen.
It's okay.
I'll echo all the thank yous to everybody. And I will just say that as a parent of kids in the district, I really appreciate all of the positivity that you bring to make the school a place where kids want to show up and where they want to be and where they do feel that sense of belonging. I also want to give a shout out to Laura and her team and all the communications, because as a parent, that is so important. And I feel very, aware of everything that's going on. I really, really appreciate that. I also really appreciate the efforts to reach out to the incoming ninth graders that you did over the summer. There were a few of the schools that mentioned that. I think that's so great, really important for that transition. all of the just sort of fun and games and I don't know, team building kind of efforts that you do with both staff and the students. I think that really sets a good tone. And I think, yeah, that's about it. That's all I can think of. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bob, you get the final word.
Okay, well, certainly I really enjoyed the reports. You know, you can tell there's a genuine enthusiasm by everybody who presented tonight. And you can see there's also that commitment. I mean, it's like you guys really, I mean, excuse me, you ladies and gentlemen really wanted this thing to come out right. And you could tell there was a lot of effort. Now, it sounded like a lot of fun and everybody enjoyed themselves, but we know you didn't get there without a lot of dedication, teamwork, and support. And I'm just so glad that it came out. You know, and it also emphasizes the unique styles of the leadership we have here and the unique programs. You know, this is like all our children. We love them all. They're all the same and they're all different. But it really was a good opportunity to hear how everybody approached it. And I really enjoyed the presentation. So thank you.
That's the perfect summary.
One more thing real quick.
I
knew there was
noticed that.
I knew there was something I was leaving out, and I wanted to thank you for figuring out the new PE program. I know that might have seemed rushed and a little bit, I don't know, crazy to figure out. And I want to thank you for figuring it out and getting it sorted and doing that for the kids. Thank you.
And with that, we just want to say thank you all for being here. I know, you know, we know that your time is valuable and you really use, it's hard to take the time out to come here all the time and be part of this, but this is the best meeting because we love seeing you and we love hearing about what's going on at your schools. So thank you so much for being here. All right. Thank you. All right. With that, we are going to move on to human resources personnel consent agenda. Oh, we have to do one more. Robin, I see you in the back. Come on up. We're going to do you first before we go to HR. All right. Good night, everybody. All right.
Good night.
Sorry, Robin. We got you, though. We did not forget about you.
Good evening.
Good
I was
evening.
having such a wonderful time watching it.
Me
the
too.
Meeting
Mhm.
from my office. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, I gotta go. And I quickly sent Shara a text. It's like, I'm on my way from Hinkley. I'll be right there. Because it was just so nice that I usually miss the beginning because I'm running 500 different ways, but almost empty. But it was so nice to hear from all the principals and all the excitement from you guys. And thanks so much for the kudos to the staff, because I know it's been really hard for us getting everything we need to get done before you come back. And what we see is what's not done. And it's like, oh, and of course, you know, the pool thing in Aragon's killing us. And I might have to be there at 6:30 tomorrow morning. I think Brad's shoes will fall off if he sees me there that early. I'm not a morning person. But, and also when you guys were talking about your fun day, when you were doing your, not PD day, but like your team building at the baseball game, that, it was fun. It sounded like a great time. A couple of days earlier than that, because we're not at a school site at Hinkley. And usually what happens is everyone comes together to work, you clock in, do your thing, and we disperse to the different areas. So when there's collective things going on at each location, it doesn't involve us. No big deal. We had a fabulous barbecue. Linda had it catered from Capella's, I believe. Actually, no, that's a sporting thing. It was a barbecue place. It was delicious.
Wow.
And she did a special thing for the ladies, which was very nice. We dressed up as princesses and, you know, which of course, you know, that's who we are. And we went and did an escape room in Hillsdale Mall. There was one called Once Upon a Time, which is why we were princesses, of course. And we got out and we were fantastic, and it was teamwork, and it was just so fun for all these people that move in different ways. As we had a couple people from business services, I guess it was fiscal services. Jasmine and Karen were with us as well. So that was really fun. So back to my boring, what I present to you, but not so boring. We are so happy that as of like a couple of hours ago, the TA is signed. Yeah, we're done, right? Really, we're done. Really done. That makes me excited. And we sent out the reopeners last week, and we get that pushed through quickly. We had to push some meetings back because all the startup stuff for the beginning of the year, but we're on track. We have one thing that's really nice for CSEA is that we have 4 educational scholarships for CSEA members to apply for, and we're going to be awarding those at the end of this month. Yeah, it's a $400 or $500 things, and you can do it for yourself to go to school or for one of your kids to go to school. So that is exciting to know about. Actually, I got some really good information from Vanessa that helped me explain to people what was going on, and I really appreciated it. About how many days in the year and why our pay changed and stuff. Yeah, it's like, oh, solving for X, I get it. And I could explain it to everybody. And that was really important for them to hear that, no, you didn't get a cut in pay. And the longevity thing that we pulled through, everyone's super excited. So that's very wonderful. I think we're just moving forward, and I really appreciate everyone's effort. I enjoy being able to have contact with that man over there, even though he's always asking for eggs, but no, it's okay. No, I have a new dog and he's very playful. I just have to keep him away from the chickens.
All right.
Yeah, I have chickens. I love my chickens. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you for letting me slide in late.
No
again.
worries. No worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We are now moving on to the Division of Human Resources Personnel Consent Agenda items.
The consent has the personnel actions and 2 MOUs.
All right. Yes.
I move to approve.
All right. Motion made by trustee Jacobson, seconded by trustee Andrade Zuniga. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried 5-0. Okay, moving on to the Division of Human Resources, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Black.
Okay, the first item is personal action addendum, and there's no recognitions.
Okay.
Move adoption.
Okay, motion for adoption by trustee Griffin,
Second.
second by trustee Andrade Zuniga. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried 5-0. Next item.
The next item is a revised job description for the Director of Student Nutrition. As you know, I believe you know, the department has grown from in revenue from 1.8 million to 6 million, and from 400,000 meals to 1,200,000 meals over the last 3 years. It's also the department's has transitioned to delicious scratch cooked meals. Given the increased responsibilities of the Director of Student Nutrition position, the board approved a new Ask Me Nutrition manager position at a previous board meeting. And that means that the Director of Student Nutrition is going to needs to be removed from Ask Me and placed on the district's administrator manager salary schedule. The district did a comprehensive salary comparison with other comparable districts and placed the position appropriately on the schedule. So we recommend approval of the first off of the job description for the Director of Student Nutrition.
All right. Thank you.
I'd like to make the motion to approve.
Okay, motion made by trustee Chavez,
Second.
seconded by trustee Andrade Zuniga. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried 5-0. Next item.
Next item is the revised administrator manager salary schedule. It has 2 revisions. One is for the Director of Student Nutrition that we just talked about, and the other is the placement level of the Director of Budget and Financial or Fiscal Services, as we've done in previous years. And if the schedule is approved, we will read the individual employment contracts in the next item.
Next item.
Next one.
Okay.
I move to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion made by trustee Jacobson, seconded by trustee Andrade Zuniga. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. This is my prime?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm get to read this out loud. The following are the compensation terms for the district's non-represented administrator and classified manager positions. Each administrator manager will receive the health and welfare benefits of up to $28,964.15, transportation and cell phone reimbursements of $275 per month, various subscriptions and memberships and reimbursements for approved district expenses. Director, read this part too. Okay.
Yeah. These are the
Director Directors, Valerie Miller, Director of Budget and Fiscal Services, salary $224,562 for 221 workdays. Dennis Voorhees, Director of Student Nutrition, salary $171,095 for 204 workdays. Yes?
Yes.
Done? Okay. All right. The next is approval of the revised miscellaneous salary schedule.
Yeah, this item, there's one revision to the miscellaneous salary schedule. We usually bold it, but I see that we didn't bold it. The revision is an increase in the substitute rate for substitutes of special education to $360 a day. This increase would include all special education programs, including therapeutic day class, Bay University, Bay Academy, specialized academic instruction, and the other programs. The teacher vacancies in these programs have proven to be difficult to fill these past few years, as has been substitutes for the vacancies. We hope that this increase in the daily rate will help with recruitment for substitutes for special education programs.
Okay.
Would you like to approve items
Yeah.
4 to 4, 5?
Is that what you want? Approve item
To
4.
approve one at a time, all 5 items?
No, I think point of order, trustee Chavez, I think you're correct. We skipped over a motion and a second and approval for item S 4.
4. That, because I thought just reading it was it, but you have to actually approve it.
Approve it.
So
yes.
since we read it, we need approval.
Yes,
So
I'd
can
like
we
to make.
go back
I'd
to
like-
that?
Yes, I'd like to make. a
Okay,
motion
so that's for
approval
4.
for 4.
Item 4. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made by trustee Chavez, seconded by trustee Jacobson. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion carried for that section.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
Okay,
Now item 5.
so now item 5.
I'll move to.
He read it, so.
Yeah, I'll move to approve. item
Motion
5.
made by trustee Andrade Zuniga,
I'll second that.
seconded by trustee Chavez. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion carried 5-0. Now, next.
Next item is an MOU for one of our employees. Usually employees in the teacher union don't have vacation or unpaid leave. However, this employee is donating a kidney to a family member. She'd like to request unpaid leave in order to meet the Donor Shield reimbursement program that reimburses people who are donating organs at the same level as their wages.
Okay, thank you for entertaining a motion.
I move.
Okay, move for approval by trustee Andrade Zuniga. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Griffin. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried for the MOU. Thank you. Last item.
Last item is a psychologist leader position. This is a lead position, sorry. We've increased district psychologists from 6 to 10 over the past few years. They're a very dynamic group, efficient group, but in order to provide them with additional support, this position will augment their activities and be a liaison between the group of psychologists and the district office.
Thank you.
I move to approve.
Motion made by trustee Jacobson, seconded by trustee Andrade Zuniga. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. We are now moving on TUVWX future board agenda items. Anyone want to, I'm entertaining thoughts on future agenda items. Anyone? Going once, twice?
No, I want to request a report on that study hall sophomore PE. Because I still see a lot of strange email traffic, and I'd like to hear some more about that.
Okay, sounds good. Anyone else? Okay, so we're going to close the meeting, and I'm going to adjourn the meeting. And we did a little bit before time. Good. All right. All right. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm fading fast. Sorry. You are. Here's a picture.